Hello everyone, sorry for the technical difficulties. We are here, week 2, Hallowed V Xtra with the clown set. Unfortunately, this is actually not the start of the match. This is meeting an unfortunate 4K3 win con with Hallowed on Killer, putting Noah on the clown. We've got Chase on Revel on Nia, very early first chase. Taking Chase towards 7, this is in the corrupt area. Not going to give a tag here, but we do swing for it, giving them a lot of distance. Unfortunately, because of the technical difficulties, I didn't get to see too much of who else we might have seen. We do miss a bottle. Nia playing this tile very well, not giving an early tag. Deciding to reload, Nia might take this opportunity to hold W. Nope, we're going to keep playing this tile. Still, I'm going to keep playing A. I'm wondering if maybe they're trying to put pressure over on Shaq. Still getting his vault. I'm wondering if we're just going to break this pallet. We are. We see a pop off in the distance. Now, I believe if last match was a 4K3, we're playing for a 4K4 win con, meaning that we would actually have to kill all 4 survivors before one more gen pops if we want to win this set and give the point to Hallowed. Which obviously would be very difficult for a clown. Nia taking Chase towards 7. Does get the hinder, not dropping the pallet on 10 dumpster tile. We also don't get pallet on this pallet gym. Chase going towards Shaq. Nope, we can see a head on 10 tile. I think that was Claude Phaser. Chase going back to dumpster tile. We see another gem pop, meaning that at this point I think the best thing we can play for is a Tycon. Might be a tag on Tania here. Going to be very close, and we do get it just barely before eating the pallet stun. Corrupt now fading away. As for perks, we're seeing Corrupt, Pain Res, Eruption, and Brutal. Brutal's going to help us get through these pallets pretty quickly, but we're not actually kicking a whole lot of pallets. Eruption does get some synergy with Brutal if we decide to kick the gens, but so far we haven't seen that yet. And obviously no Pain Res yet because we've gotten no hooks at 3 gens, which is very unfortunate. We see Fang Braku at the 6th tile, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we might have actually heard Nia, but we see scratch marks going up to 3. They're probably long gone, but Noah's opting to take this chase onto 6 onto Braku. Seemingly losing them for a second. Fang's going to take that distance over towards A. We're reloading again. We are just really struggling to get a foothold and pressure right now. Kind of going back and forth. Seems like we might be a little unsure of what to do. We hear a lot of progress on this Shaq gen. I imagine with the gen prog this high on Shaq, we might just play for that pop to get our win if we're team extra. But with no injures on the board and very little resources burned, they actually have a lot of wiggle room if they would want to pop Shaq or maybe start putting pressure on another gen. Just giving 12 Crane pallet, no problems. We're going to go ahead and take the break on that. Committing to chase over towards 10 tile. I think we might still have a pallet here. We do. It's still downed. I think Noah may have forgotten that pre-swing at the pallet. No injured. Does break pallet. Chase going back towards Shaq. This is a pretty good chase to commit if we're Noah, assuming that they're still trying to pop Shaq. Shaq is still aggressing. We see 2 people getting the stun, Firecracker and the blind. We're putting a lot of resources into this Shaq chase. Deciding to take Chase up. I'm not sure if this is a move if we're Noah. Does not get a hit on that swing. Very unfortunate. Well played from Fetty. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce that. We do get a tag. Very well done. This chase is going to go back towards Shaq. We don't have pallet, but we're going to get on the gen, and we eat a head-on Shaq and a blind. Very unfortunate. A little bit lost getting a reload. We can only assume if they're trying to be this active on Shaq, we probably have pressure on, I'm guessing, 5. Wow, what a hit tank. Just barely getting a hit tank from Phaser. For our Lara here, not getting the down. Going to take Chase onto 3 mid. Does throw purple bottle. Are we going to see it down here? I don't think so. Nope. Not getting the pallet stun, just making the M1 onto the pallet. We see a gen pop off in the distance, which, to my understanding, will be the win for this set going to Team Extra. But, of course, this is Comp DBD. We're going to keep playing out this set. We're going to try and do the best thing that we can do, get the best result we can for our team, keep morale up going into the next set. Swinging right through the pallet. I like that play. Unfortunately, not getting tagged, seeing another. The last gens pop off in the distance. We could be seeing a 0 stage come in on our killer from Hallowed. We get that pallet down on 5 rock. Now, if we break this pallet, this survivor might be zoned before they can make anything else. With our doors being 1 and 6, I think I see a red light on that 6th gate, meaning that they're probably going to open that door and come in for hit tanks. Laura already pre-running. Missing our purple bottle. That could be huge for our survivors. Does that door get open in time? It does, and we see a hit tank coming in, and I think that this will be a 0 stage onto our Hallowed Killer Noah. That is so tough. Reloading into the XAK, we still have Phaser and Rebel into the trial, but they're both healthy. Presumably one door is being opened at the moment, if not opened already. We actually see scratch marks. I think they're just beelining it into that 6th gate. Rebel's still in the match, and that's going to be everyone out of the gate. 0 stages on the board, and a blowout set, and a point for this set going to Team Xtra. Very well played, and we will see you guys in the next set. Alright, we are back for the second set of the matchup between Teams Xtra v Hallowed. We have Hallowed's killer Cell on the Dredge here. Definitely worth noting that this set was actually Hallowed's pick and the Clown set was Xtra, so you could call it an expected result. The Xtra's going to take that set, but both teams still fought their best, but we are moving on into the Dredge set. Seeing a survivor down here on, I believe this is bot 9. I think that was Mata if I'm not mistaken. No, it was actually Braku. Fang taking chase over towards bathrooms. This is a dead classroom. We could be seeing a tag here, but I think that they make that bathroom pallet. They most definitely do. Just going to go ahead and pre-throw that. Cell deciding not to even play for a tag on it. They're just going to actually take that break, and I think they'll no make it up to music room. We see a break on Ruin. Not probably going to be a tag here unless Braku makes a mistake greeting that pallet. But then giving the Dredge pallet control. Might be seeing a tag for it. We do see a tag onto Braku. Very well done. For a quick review of our perks, we've got Ruin, Corrupt, Surge, and Sloppy. Of course, with Ruin out of the game so early, that's kind of rough for Dredge, but Surge will still help us in the world of a little bit of regression. Taking chase towards our 5 God pallet. Gonna go and pre-throw that. We're gonna take that as well. We did hear a little bit of maybe interrupted gen prog. Chase was going through Corrupt. We hear courtyards being worked. Chase is gonna go back towards this dead classroom. They're opting not to actually try and make any effort to cut them off. They're going to make this window and a pallet in this 10 room. We have Bloodlust, but we're going to go and place down a Remnant, which we still have Bloodlust and Remnant. I never knew that. But we're going to go and TP back to Remnant, not getting the tag before we get drop on a Living God. We see a gen popping in the distance. That may have been Courtyard, I think, if it were doubled. Taking chase up to top 11. And we do still have a pallet here, not window. They do get agreed off. Cell double backing, losing a little bit of distance. We could place a Remnant, maybe get a tag of this tile. No Remnant yet. We do see drop on the pallet. Placing down Remnant now. Losing eyes on Braku, but we do get the tag and Surge onto the bot 9 gen. And we did hear a scream, meaning a survivor was actually actively working that. We get a hook on this. We're going to go on TP down. We immediately get eyes on Revel, and we do hear that Nightfall warning. Now, there's no 11 God pallet here, which I assume was communicated. We get a Firecracker drop. Chase is going back down to bot 11, once again giving up pallet control, which a lot of players are going to say against Dredge, that's a very risky thing to do. We do see a tag and a stun go through. Nightfall starting now, another gen popping in the distance. That was top 5. We're going to go ahead and take our speedy TP around looking for survivors. We get Killer Instinct on, I think that was either Mata or Phaser. I think that is Phaser. But are we going to take this chase? We are going to TP. We're going to see KI that they're going down to bottom bathrooms. There's no pallet there. Presumably a free tag if we decide to commit, but we decide that if we're this Dredge, we really don't want to risk giving a free pull to extra serves. Now, Nightfall for a lot of Dredges are a time where that's where you get a lot of your active pressure. You're TPing around, you're getting tagged, you're burning resources, but we're going to spend this time by hook. They get a pull onto Braku, and we're not even going to bother taking hit on Phaser or anything. Probably the right play, because I think we'll actually get this redown for free. Just a little slow in the reaction time they get, and then get a body block onto Braku. We're still in Nightfall, meaning we could get a very quick TP, but that locker's locked. Double backing. Might be a little too late on the reaction time. I think this might be a down. We still have this music room pallet, so we can at least prolong this chase a little bit. Just time to replace that Remnant. I was going to say they might be able to play that pallet. If we don't, they run back into our Dredge, and we do get the redown and another Surge onto bot 9. Once again, I think we heard a scream, meaning that they're probably very actively putting pressure on that gen, which is a little bit risky since the hook is immediately above it. We see another gen pop in the distance. 2 stages at 2 gens, but we do have a death hook on 1 survivor. Ideally, if we're Dredge, we just want to get into this 3v1 as quickly as we can. Dredge in the 3v1 is extremely lethal, especially if we can get some spare tags to go along with it, entering it. And we do have an injure on Phaser, but I would dare to say that they're probably playing for a reset, and there we see it. We see a reset come through on Phaser. 3 healthy survivors that can play for this pull. We have a fairly tight gen spread. All the gens on our right side have been popped. If I'm not mistaken, I think we actually got 2 courtyard gens this game. Although I could guess that could be about 1 gen. I actually can't tell from here. We see a survivor off in the distance on top 6. We're just opting to take this time to break some lockers so that we're at least using our time more effectively of camping this hook. But yeah, if we're Cell, we really do not want to see a pull come through here, but it's almost impossible. There are 3 ways into that room. If they double save this, it's not reasonably possible to get a body block on this hook. But we are going to be playing for it. The serves are going to be playing for a very last second pull here. Maybe, or maybe not. We miss a skill check. No pull's going to come through here, and we see a death at 2 gens. Now, we would hope for the extra serves that for that death, they're getting a lot of gen pressure, getting a quick tag on Tamada. We see a gen at about 50% here. So now we have 2 survivors accounted for. Of course, Phaser was pressuring the hook. We get a tag on Mata. Revel is still unaccounted for. If I had to guess, probably pressuring that courtyard gen. Placing down this Remnant, we could see a quick down here, opting not to TP. I think that gives Mata enough distance to make another pallet, which they do. Immediately dropping it. We got to win at 50, but we don't win it. We see a gen pop, but we get a surge on, I think, our only other gen with progress. I think Phaser might be on Music Room now, but we're going to be seeing a hook onto top 11. They've burned through a good amount of resources. Both their God pallets are gone. Getting a TP onto Revel. We're going to go and take this pallet break. They safely make the window. Now we're going to commit to this chase, or we're going to go back. We do have a Nightfall coming up here pretty soon if we can get another tag. But we're just going to go check this gen, see if it's got any active progress. It does not. We're going to check Music Room. It does a lot of progress. We're going to go and kick. Now I would not be surprised if we see a pull come through right about now. Not seeing a pull. But we do have Phaser being pressured. Now there's the pull. That was Revel on the pull, and Phaser's in chase now on top 6. Placing our Remnant down at this pallet. Are we going to get a tag? Oh, just getting a little bit confused on the Remnant TP. I think they'll make that window. They do. Now, if we're Cell, this is a very risky chase to commit to. We do get a tag. Ideally, we get a TP back and disrupt whatever gen they're presumably doubling. Yep, we see 2 survivors trying to work this top 11 gen. It's got a lot of progress. We are in a really tough spot if we're Cell. We've got 2 gens with high progress. They could reasonably pressure either one of them. But we are in the 3v1 with 2 injures with Surge. All it takes is 1 or 2 downs for this to become a 4k1. But we are going to get a stun. Very well played from Revel. We're going to go back pressure this gen. Not getting eyes on any other survivor. I would assume that means that we're probably playing for a reset. Getting a TP onto Phaser on top 6. Are we going to force pull? No. We're going to go and play for this window vault. Now, we actually probably can commit to this. Trying the same mind game twice in a row, going 0 for 2 on that window mind game. Getting it down, but that was also no surge on either of the gens, I don't believe. Meaning that these gens still have a lot of progress. Taking chase onto Revel here, getting a little bit ambitious with that swing, not getting an injure. Gonna go and kick this gen. Placing a Remnant down. Insta-TPing back. Oh! Revel vaulting back into the Dredge. Very unfortunate. Giving a tag. 2 injures and 1 down in the 3v1 Dredge. This is tough. Getting a pick back on Phaser. We're immediately going to get Killer Instinct on both of them. Nightfall ending, though. Our TPs are going to be a lot slower, and we're not going to get as much information from our TPs. But we still have a good amount of pressure, but we are leaving our gens kind of exposed. Both of these chases are leaving our active gen area. Even if we got a down here, I'm not sure it would be Surge. We are going to see it down here. And no Surge. Getting it down on Mata. Probably going to TP immediately back to that top 11. We have a locked locker here. We see scratch marks from that locker. I think they just locked it. Pre-running towards 6. This is a long hold W session if we commit to it. Meaning that Revel, or actually I think this is Revel running. It is. We could see a pickup on Tamada from Phaser if they're quick about it. Playing our Remnant TP mind game, and we do get it down, and that's going to be Surge on our top 7. That's actually really good for us. Going to go ahead and take this pick and hook. I don't imagine that they're going to play for an immediate double and pop. I don't know if they make it from where that pickup was. But we're TPing somewhere to where the pickup was. Yep, so we actually do see a reset. Good call from Cell. Predicting that they're not going to put pressure on the gen, but they're going to play for a reset. Now, do we want to take chase onto the injured Phaser or the healthy Mata? We're going to play for Phaser, hoping that we can get a down reasonably quickly. Phaser doing a good job taking the distance, going downstairs. Greeting the pallet, being very patient. At the cost of giving up pallet control, but Cell gives it right back, swings and gets the down through the pallet. Very well played from Cell. We're going to TP right back to that hook. We've got one survivor on either side. We've got to choose one, deciding to go for Revel on our top 5 going 3, but we're actually going to fake it and TP back to 11. This TP might have overshot a little bit. No! We're actually going to land right on top of them, just barely missing that swing on Tamada, placing down our Remnant. Oh, going for a locker TP mind game. Getting a tag on Tamada. Very well played from Cell. Once again, into the 2 injured, 1 down scenario, and the 3v1 interrupting the pick. This could be huge for Cell on Hallowed Killer if we could get this down. We do still have a pallet. No window. They have to play this pallet. We're going to play the long game. They're going to waste as much time as they can. They actually win the 50 and Cell TPs, but I think this is a down regardless. It is. They do get the pickup on Phaser. We're kind of juggling our down serve here. And because we have so many injures around the clock, we're actually building our Nightfall repeatedly very quickly. That gen is regressing. Still going to play for Mata. We still have a little bit of Nightfall left. We have a down pallet here. Now, what is Mata going to do? Are we going to play this pallet or are we going to agree away? We are. We're going to agree. I think this pallet is broken. It is. Maybe that wasn't communicated or was forgotten, but forcing lock, preventing a surge proc on either of those 2 high prog gens. Very well played from Mata, getting a hook. Now these hooks technically don't mean a whole lot if we're playing for a 3v1 slug, as we don't have pain res. And I think Mata is now our only death hook survivor. Though I could be wrong. Again, we still have this down pallet. Replacing our Remnant. We're going to see if we can get a quick down here. And we do get it down on Phaser. If we get back to that hook quick enough and interrupt the pull, we could be seeing a 4K1 coming out from Cell. We do get back to the hook to see the pull come through. Unfortunately, not in time to interrupt it. If I'm Cell, I'm probably going to play to go for that tunnel out. Revel giving a tag. This is a very risky play in the 3v1. But I suppose that they think that it's going to be worthwhile to keep Mata in the game long enough that it's worth giving an injury against the Dredge. Very risky play, but could pay off. Got to place this Remnant playing for Revel. And we are going to see a down on Revel. And we're going to pick. We're not going to play for the slug. They do get pick on Phaser. And we're going to go and hook on top of this gen. Now, thanks to Surge and the very well-placed active pressure from Cell, I believe both of these gens have now just about fully regressed. We're going to go in TP, not quite getting that Nightfall speed that we wanted, but also not getting Killer Instinct, meaning that no one's over here unless they're crouching. But now we're getting a little bit of Killer Instinct. We see someone probably playing for that pole, but they drop into Courtyard. We know where everyone is. 1 in Courtyard, 2 people off the hook. Who are we going to play for? We're going to play for Phaser, try and get that death out. Now, they might have Music Room, but I actually don't think so. They still, I believe, have the drop pallet in this next room on top 10, but other than that, I don't think they have anything to work with. That's going to be a down onto Phaser, just not really anything to work with. We're going to TP and get greedy. We're not really hearing any gen pressure. Now, if I'm Cell, this is a little bit risky. If they get a pick onto Phaser, losing that death could be really bad for us. Just barely missing the timing to get that grab off the lock. Going to take chase onto Mata. I'm very interested in why they're actually not picking Phaser here. But opting to take that TP and taking the pallet drop prompt from Mata. And we're going to go and pick this. Now, forgive me for not paying attention. I actually don't remember if Mata is death on hook. Let's see. Mata is death. So 1 up injured and 1 slugged. TPing back towards where we downed Phaser. I wouldn't be too surprised if extra serves are actually playing for a bleed out on Phaser so that we can have the randomized hatch spawn of an indoor map that is Midwich. Of course, with any other map, you have the annotated mind game of knowing where the pallet is and whether the killer's going to make it in time, but on a map like Midwich, pretty sure it's completely randomized. So playing for that bleed out and an immediate hatch spawn might be more worthwhile. If we're Cell, we're either looking for Revel for the down or to pick Phaser. Looking around one corner, not seeing anything yet. No injured grunts, no blood, no scratches. tiny bit of gen progress on this gen that I actually don't think was there the last time we were here. In fact, finding Revel. This is huge for us and will almost definitely mean a 4K1 for Cell. No, I don't think... Maybe I was mistaken, and Phaser actually isn't Death Hook, because I don't think Revel is fresh. No, Revel's Death Hook, meaning that Phaser's actually fresh. Meaning that this bleed out could mean bad news for Cell, and I don't think we're gonna find this in time. Oh, meaning 4 gens pop, but we do see, I believe, what was a fresh hook bleed out. Very fun game, interesting game, well played from both sides, and I'll see you guys for Xtra's killer on the other side. So, GG's. Okay, we are back with Xtra's killer Phaser on the Dredge. Now, if calculations are correct, because of that fresh bleed out, the survivors have a 3k10 win con, and the killer has a 4k0 win con, with the tie con being 3k11. Meaning that this is actually pretty doable for both sides. Now, last season we had field recorder allowed, by the way, seeing chase onto Mario on 11, getting the tag through God 11 pallet. Now, as I was saying, without field recorder, getting outs against Dredge is even more possible than ever, albeit difficult. This set is far from easy. But a 4k0 is also totally doable for killers, Xtra's killer. Taking chase over to 5 God pallet. We're just going to go and pre-throw that, not taking any risk of getting hit through pallet again, as that was very unfortunate. Oh, maybe a little bit of rubber band. Still coming to chase on Mario, TPing out. Maybe seeing if we can catch someone else off, and we do. I think that was either Cell or Cactus. That's Cell, taking chase on the top 6, taking our vault. Gonna follow them right through. And we are gonna take that tag. Maybe trying that same window mine game that I think Phaser had done twice the last game. Committing to Cell over towards bot 7. We should. Nope, no pallet in this room. Dead classroom. That could mean a down. Oh, Cell holding W. It's going to be close. Nope, getting the down onto bot 10. Now, in this game, for perks, we actually, I believe, have the exact same build, except instead of Surge, we have Pain Res. Now, Pain Res can be very tricky with mid-witch hooks, but we do see a Pain Res coming through here. Surge, a lot of people might agree, might just be a little bit more consistent, but Pain Res packs a little bit more of a punch per instance. But we do get a hook on Cell going over towards top 1, breaking that lock. We see blood, meaning that this was Mario on this gen. If we get it down on Mario here, that is very bad news. We actually hear that Mario's still here playing this window, going back to play this pallet. This could be tough if we see a down here. And it looks like we might. We do see a down. Oh, never mind. I'm actually... Oh, no, that was Eruption. Not Surge. My bad. We do see a down, and we're probably going to go straight back to Hook, and we have Nightfall. This is bad news for our survivors. Meaning that this Hook will likely go second state, and someone would have to rotate over. We do get a TP on top of Cactus onto top 6. Now, hopefully it was communicated that I think that classroom might be a dead classroom. That's going to be another tag, maybe. Ooh, a train might be difficult. That's actually not the dead classroom, my mistake. They were doubling Music Room, going ahead and popping that gen. But if we see a down on Cactus here and a slug over towards Xeno, we could be talking a 4k4 for Xtra's killer. Cell does second state. We get a pick on Mario, meaning that Xeno must have rotated over and played for that instead of the hook. Likely a safer option. Getting a TP back onto Cactus. Chase is going locker room top 6. TPing back, seeing if we can catch someone out, trying to get this pull. Now, of course, usually you want to pull last second, but in a case like this, you want to pull when it's safe. We do get a tag, but thankfully no trade. We have no 11 God. Hopefully that was communicated. This will be close. Playing 11 bot pallet. And that's a 50 that's going to likely take Cell out of the game. Entering the 3v1 with 3 injures and only 1 gen pop. This is looking very tough for our Hallowed survivors, but very good if you're Phaser. Going ahead and hooking up bot 11. We do see another gen pop, so I'm actually incorrect. 2 gens pop and 3 injures entering the 3v1. Now, of course, with Dredge, we're seeing our Nightfall build very quickly due to the fact that there are 3 injures. Seeing a lock on that locker, chase on Cactus and Mario. This is not good. Getting eyes on multiple survivors. Unless Cactus can do something magical here. Nope, we're going to be seeing a down on top 2 on Cactus. We're going to go ahead and kick this gen. This gen actually does have a little bit of progress, but with Eruption on it, if we get another down, that will not be the case. We have had eyes on Mario recently. Xeno's the only person we have pretty much unaccounted for. And we think that he might be working a gen. We're just going to go ahead and take some pallet breaks in the meantime. While we have some time to fill. Breaking some lockers. We do see, I think that was Xeno. And some good progress on this gen. So we actually do have 2 gens with progress. Which is good. If the survivors play this perfectly, we could see more gen pops come through. But remember, with a win con of 3k10 for our survivors, a death at 3 gens is tough. Finding the reset. Good patience to not throw that pallet, but now we see it down on Mario. Cactus, I think, has this pallet and the pallet behind them to play, and that's about it. Might be seeing another down, and we do 2 downs. It's all on Xeno to make something happen. And we actually saw Xeno for a second on the TP. Xeno! Xeno, he's behind you! Going to bathrooms, we have this pallet. Deciding to break the pallet. I think if Phaser had wanted to, that would have been a down anyway, but we get the down regardless. And that, again, unless something magical can happen, is going to be a 4K3 on Phaser's Dredge. Very good result from the killer. Survivors played well. Definitely got some good gem pressure, just unfortunately, especially with the tags that Phaser was getting and not being able to get resets through without giving more tags. They just couldn't get their foothold back in the game after their gem pressure. So, at this point, we're just looking for our hooks, and our 4 stages were all 3 hook states on Cell and now 1 on Xeno, meaning both Cactus and Mario are fresh. So, the optimal thing here would be for both of them to bleed out, but we're going to find Cactus. And if I'm not mistaken, even if both of them did bleed out, I still don't know if that would be enough to hit their win con, so... But we are going to see a hook on the Cactus on the top 12. Now we're looking for Mario, which I think we downed Mario on top 3 or 4. So we would expect him to be somewhere close by. I would actually predict the same thing, crawling basement. But I'm not hearing anything. I don't think he's there. So next step might just be to TP directly back to where they were. We're just going to kind of walk around. Why TP? We need to make sure that we're listening out. We don't have a ton of time left on Mario's bleed out. If we're Phaser, we're telling everyone in our VC to be dead silent so we can listen. But absolutely no signs of Mario so far. Well played from Mario, stealthing for this bleed out. Now again, even if it's not the win, a bleed out here just for the sake of dignity and to tell your friends that you got more points, we do want to get this bleed out regardless of if it's a win or not. Searching around bathrooms. If the down was on the other side of the map, a lot of people would assume that they're on that side of the map, but with the amount of time Mario has had to crawl, he realistically could be anywhere. Meaning that Phaser has to look, well, just about everywhere. And with the time we have left... Now, something to consider. I think you get Killer Instinct on down survivors in Nightfall. I think Phaser actually could have sat in a locker for a whole of like a full minute to get Nightfall and then TP'd around in Nightfall to find Mario on the ground. But I don't think Phaser expected Mario to be stealthing this well and to actually get this bleed. But we do find Mario just barely before the bleed out, meaning that this will be a full 4K3 for Xtra's killer Phaser. Very well played from both sides. Unfortunately, Xtra just played better enough to take these sets in a 2-0 against Hallowed. Very well played from both sides, and Phaser on the 4K3 on Dredge. Very impressive, especially with no field recorder. Is a very impressive result for Dredge. Very well played, which means no tiebreaker, and that will be the sets for this matchup. So, GG's everyone, and well played.